he's cutting. He's meeting today with mommy and daddy, and they're working on their campaign. Okay, they're working. So he's meeting now with mom and dad. No, it's true. He needs counsel. And he was very angry over the week. He said, you know, if this is going to be this nasty, let them have Trump as their president.
To paraphrase something we've all heard from parents at one time or another, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. Could be the unfortunate mantra of the Republican Party at the moment, as their presidential candidates, one in particular, is getting more personal every day, and the opponents are taking the bait. Sharks on the left smelling electoral blood in the water, and if this is the course the right will follow, there will be no need for chumming those waters come next November. That's how the left believes. So let's reel this all in. He's the veteran political and reputation strategist, CEO of Reputation Management Consultants in Los Angeles, Eric Schiffer, joined by the veteran expert on personal and corporate strategy, president of the M Network in Miami, Thom Mozloom. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for being here. Eric, I'm going to start out with you. Donald Trump went right after Jeb Bush this weekend. The mommy and daddy comments are the ones that I think got Jeb Bush and got under his skin. Did Donald Trump go too far, or was it a brilliant move?
I don't think he went too far, Ed. I think it's another brilliant move. I think that Bush represents the establishment. So any attack against Bush it goes to the heart of what people are against this cycle. And frankly, to attack him on what is a core thing. Look, he went back to visit his parents. He went back to visit his brother. His father apparently is involved in the campaign on some level now, is active. It's reinvigorated him. I think that, again, it makes him look like not the alpha male. He looks like the beta. He looks like the guy who is still trying to figure all this out. And frankly, he is, and the electorate knows it. And I think he's framed him in the right way. He's a master at framing people with very little prose, and this was another example.
Tom, do you sense in any way, shape, or form if people are getting tired of Donald Trump, or on the other side of things, are they just eating it up and now basically coming to every single appearance saying, who's he going to insult now? Who's he going to go after now? This is what we really want, and we love this.
No, well, a tectonic shift has happened in politics this year with the emergence of Trump, with Bernie Sanders on the left, with Carson, with Fiorino. These are outsiders. These are people who talk and look and act like the people they're going to represent. And they speak like they're talking in a bar. The guys in the bar say things like, oh, Bush went back to his mommy and daddy. And that makes Trump the kind of person that we can relate to, the kind of person that the average person is going to look at and say, yeah, he's not so different than me. The irony is that Trump is a billionaire. He's the least like any of these voters, and nobody's attacking him for it. The other side, the other Republicans don't know what to do with Trump because he seems to be Teflon. You try to hammer him, and he just comes back with a wisecrack. But I think as time wears on, the shtick will wear thin, and one of the Republicans is going to emerge as the statesman and start chopping Trump down to size.
All right, now let's listen to the other side of this, because after the mommy and daddy comment, then Jeb Bush had his chance. And this is the one that on the Monday morning talk shows was really getting hammered by both the right and the left. His response, here's what he said.
I got a lot of really cool things that I could do other than sit around being miserable, listening to people demonize me and me feeling compelled to demonize them. That is a joke. Elect Trump if you want that. If you want somebody who has a heart for people, who can fight for people and can fix these things, then there are a couple other people, and I believe I'm the best one.
All right, Eric, I heard basically Jeb Bush's people say he's finally showing some fire. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of people who said, I've got better things to do is the wrong thing to say when you're running for president. Agree?
I agree. I think that this is not fire. I mean, sounds like frustration. It sounds like he's basically admitting that he can't handle Trump. How's he going to handle some of these other leaders that would be trying to take his head off if he's president of the United States? I think it sends the wrong message. I'm sure he got frustrated. It sounds like he had a moment where he was being genuine, but he was off message in a way that I think, again, frames him consistent with the way Trump wants him framed, and the way that he seems to currently emerge amongst the electorate. It's still early, though. A lot can change. He has a lot of money with this PAC that ultimately has some control over. And frankly, 100 days, or I think we're less than, that's a long time.
Tom, you and I have talked about this before, off the air at least, and I know that we both actually taught this in many ways to other people who are out there. But when it comes to a guy like Trump, who baits and baits and baits and chums those waters and throws it out there, you've just got to be smart enough not to take the bait. And nobody thus far has done this. Maybe Rubio has been smart enough not to take the bait, a couple of other guys. But, Tom, it would seem that Jeb Bush at this point has been rattled. He's got to learn the lesson. Shut your mouth and don't let the guy drag you in.
Trump had Bush from the get-go of this. He's been all over him, and Jeb he hasn't known what to do with him at all. None of the candidates have. Anybody who opens their mouth, Trump goes after in a personal, bully kind of way. The person who got to Trump best was Fiorina. She went right at him. She called him a doofus, and that was that. And I think the best approach to a Donald Trump is you laugh at him. You laugh at him because he's nonsensical. You say things to him like you want to build a wall across Mexico. That's great. How far into the Pacific Ocean is that wall going to go? Because you know they have boats.
Be very careful now. Be very careful because Eric's in Los Angeles right now. They don't need talks of any walls, please.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Don't build anything into the Pacific Ocean. That'll be bad enough right there. Hey, I want to ask you both about another candidate here and something else that was said. It was just that kind of a weekend where things that were said that made everybody just sit back and take notice. Here we go. This is on Meet the Press. Chuck Todd, the host. Ben Carson. This is something that's been said in the past many times before, but it caught a lot of people. Here he is linking abortion to slavery. Here we go.
Think about this. During slavery, and I know that's one of those words you're not supposed to say, but I'm saying it. During slavery, a lot of the slave owners thought that they had the right to do whatever they wanted to that slave. Anything that they chose to do. And, you know, what if the abolitionist had said, you know, I don't believe in slavery. I think it's wrong. But you guys do whatever you want to do.
Fair to say, Tom, that Dr. Ben Carson goes after the people who are on the right, goes after the people who would agree with him. So in essence, while it's always kind of a cringeworthy moment when you use the phrase slavery, he's an African American, he's a doctor, he has those people on his side. Might not have been that bad.
I think it was absolutely the perfect metaphor as well, because the media, in its infinite wisdom, has taken this and said he compared abortion to slavery, and that's not what you just heard. You heard him compare anti-abortion activists to abolitionists, people who look at the world and say, here's a wrong and I'm willing to fight for it. And let's be honest, abortion is one of those issues that we all actually agree on. Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter. You're not going to find somebody that says, hey, I love abortion. Every woman should have at least one. We all think it's a bad thing. The key is how to mitigate the numbers of them. And you have one group that talks about the legalities of it, and the other that talks about making it illegal, but nobody's doing an education campaign on abortion. And Dr. Carson seems to have his head on straight with this particular issue.
20 seconds to you, Eric. Last word. Is it fair to say that Ben Carson is the one who's playing it right?
So far, he really is, and I think he's been very smart in how he's handled it, even with this positioning, because he's speaking right to the evangelists. And frankly, the evangelical crowd is giving him this big bump in Iowa. So I think he's been on point. He's calm. I don't buy the whole argument about low energy. I think that most people won't. In Bush's case, it's one thing, but this is a guy who's been fairly calm from the beginning and been so popular. So I don't think that's going to hurt him.
Got high energy on one side, low energy on another. My goodness, and it's only October. Thom Mozloom, Eric Schiffer, always a pleasure, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us. No walls in the Pacific now. We'll talk to you both soon. All right, there are two things no one seemed to care about in the Benghazi hearings last week. Vital pieces of the puzzle, next on the Hardline. Now this promotional announcement. The shocking new book, Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary by Edward Klein, could well be his next New York Times bestseller. Called by some the most powerful expose on Hillary ever written. Author Klein offers a stunning, powerful expose of Hillary Clinton and her floundering race for the White House. With unprecedented access, Klein meticulously recreates conversations and details of Hillary Clinton's behind-the-scenes plotting. Klein also reveals the angry rivalry between Hillary and Barack Obama. Unlikable retails for $29.95, but now you can get it with our our free Newsmax offer. Get this almost $30 value absolutely free. Go online to newsmax.com/Klein or call toll-free 800-850-8749. With the 2016 election fast approaching, you need to get unlikable and be armed with the truth about Hillary. 800-850-8749 or newsmax.com/Klein.